We have all heard at least once in our lives things like, women stand up for each other, empowered women empower women. There is a special place in hell for women who don't support other women. We have all seen those posts that women share all the time on their social media that show how feminist they are and how much they're ready to fight for each other. All the women empowerment speeches and ads, even girls' conversations at the bar's restrooms about how we should stick together, and I'm here for you and all those things. All this makes you think women are each other's biggest fans, right? This is at least what I thought for a long period of my life. But are they really? I actually started developing interest for this topic in the past couple of years when I started noticing that most of the times in which I was hurt by someone close to me, either personally or professionally, was by other women. And whenever I looked around me, I noticed that it wasn't the case just for me. Most of the conflicts that women around me encountered were with other females. And most of those conflicts arise when men or professional success are included in the equation. So that made me wonder, where does this come from? And is it even true, or was it just my personal experience? So in this presentation, I want to talk about the female-female relationship in the workplace, and more specifically, the relationship between female subordinates and their female bosses. So to better understand that, it's crucial to first know the overall context of that relationship, and to learn a little bit more about the situation of women in the workplace today, and why this relationship is important. So in 2015, fewer large companies were run by women than by men named Joan. Can you believe that? Although it is no longer the case, women are unfortunately still underrepresented in higher level management positions, with only 6.2% of female leaders in the top 200 companies in the Fortune 500. While this is a very interesting percentage, we would like to know the reasons behind this underrepresentation. So let's see what those reasons might be. Is it the underrepresentation of women in the workplace? Actually, no. In 2018, women accounted for 46.9% of the total labor force, compared to 33.9% in 1950 and 43.3% in 1970. So no, this cannot be the reason behind the underrepresentation. So could it be that women are underperformers? Again, no. A study done in 2018 had found that firms with female CEOs or CFOs have produced superior stock price performance compared to the market average. The study has also shown that these same females have outperformed their male peers on different aspects. In fact, there is enough meta-analytic evidence suggesting that women tend to be rated as better leaders than men. So again, this is not a valid reason. The actual reason behind this underrepresentation is glass ceiling. So glass ceiling, according to the US Department of Labor, is defined as those artificial barriers based on an attitudinal or organizational bias that prevent qualified individuals from advancing upward in their organization into management level positions. Many of the studies conducted on the glass ceiling for women have shown that gender stereotypes and biases are the most influential factors that hinder women from upward career advancement. Surprisingly, those stereotypes are not only held by males, but by females as well. So women actually do have biases towards their own gender, which can show in their relationships with other women in the workplace. So let's explore what are those biases. How are they expressed, and how do they contribute to the glass ceiling for women? So both female bosses and female subordinates hurt each other and hinder each other's career advancements in different ways. Let's first see it from the female boss's perspective. So the first thing we have is the fear of affirmative action. Research has shown that female leaders who engage in diversity-valuing behaviors by helping and supporting other women are penalized with worse performance ratings, while male leaders who engage in those same behaviors are not penalized for doing so. That said, female supervisors avoid helping or mentoring other females in order to increase the chances of their own career success. And they eventually can engage in what we call the queen bee syndrome. So the queen bee syndrome is when a woman who has made it to the top finds a reason not to help other women aspiring to break through the glass ceiling. And this is a very common syndrome that female bosses develop throughout their professional journey and that weakens their relationship with their female subordinate. Let's now see it from the female subordinate perspective. The first thing that they do to hinder their female boss's success is lower ratings. Research has shown that women are more likely to unfavorably rate their female supervisors than men. They are also more likely to prefer male bosses. They actually admitted that they have more conflicts with female bosses than with male bosses. So I thought that was really interesting, and that's where I got the idea of the current research that I'm working on, which I called Reverse Queen Bee Syndrome. Why do female subordinates prefer male bosses over female bosses? It's a study that explores the reasons underlying this preference. I have interviewed 18 female subordinates and asked them questions about their experience with their female boss and their perception on their female boss and also on their male boss. So most participants disliked their female bosses who they rated higher on attributes that are traditionally viewed as masculine, such as authority and focus on material success. The same participants didn't have a problem with a man boss who had high score on those same characteristics. On the other hand, participants expressed dislike for female bosses who they rated lower on understanding or compassion and flexibility. This can be explained by the biased expectations that the subordinates might have on both genders. So when the female boss breaks those expectations, the relationship is negatively affected. For example, a single mom employee would expect the female boss to be more understanding and take her family situation into consideration when it comes to work schedule. She wouldn't necessarily have the same expectations from her male boss. Another interesting finding of this research is related to charisma. So the big majority of participants didn't think that the female bosses that they had the best experience with was charismatic, while most of them thought that their male boss was. There is one participant who said, "From my own experience, I had 3 male managers and all of them were charismatic, while I had 3 females and none of them was charismatic." There is one participant who said, "From my own experience, I had 3 male managers and all of them were charismatic, while I had 3 females and none of them was charismatic." The same participant added when she was asked about her definition of charisma. It's a whole package of personal and professional attributes. You can find someone who has bad attributes but who's charismatic and vice versa. Thinking that male bosses are more charismatic than female bosses can be explained by the participant's definition of charisma, which is often related to attributes that are traditionally viewed as masculine, such as assertive, controlling, or dominance, which are also characteristics that women can be punished for having, again, because they are not relevant to what we expect from them as women. One of the other reasons why female subordinates engage in behaviors that hinder their female boss's career advancement is self-esteem. So research has shown that women tend to disparage other successful women because they see them as a threat to their own perceived competence. The same study has shown that women may act hostilely in the presence of more successful women to protect their own self-esteem. Women can identify more with other women, so it is easier for them to compare themselves with other women rather than with other males. So that creates a sort of an unhealthy competition that can end up in that hostility and aggression. Finally, mentoring studies have revealed that women prefer to network with high-ranking males rather than female associates when they are seeking instrumental career advice or when they are considering risky ventures. And this can be explained by the fact that those women are more familiar with men at higher positions, which creates a bias in their mind that if they want to climb the hierarchy, they need to network with men rather than with females. A negative relationship between female subordinates and female bosses can have negative implications on both. And the most dangerous thing about it is that most of women are not aware of it, especially with all the movement that we hear about women standing up for each other and helping each other succeed. Supporting each other is not just about giving each other compliments or telling each other you can do it, I think there are many things us women can do to move away from hindering each other's success to actually encourage each other and push each other forward in the workplace. My first suggestion is developing more mentorship. Female bosses should make it a priority to mentor their female subordinates and push their ambition for career advancements. On the other hand, female subordinates should seek that mentorship from their female bosses rather than always seeking it from a man. Trusting each other is a crucial step to grow together. The second suggestion is understanding that my boss's success doesn't diminish mine. Instead of viewing your boss's success as a threat to your own self-esteem, look at it as inspiring, as something that you can look up to and learn from in order to reach your own success. Be aware of your biases. We all have biases that we are not aware of. Working on those biases and not having stereotypical gender-based expectations from our female coworker, boss, or subordinate can help us better understand each other and better work with each other, which can help us all grow and succeed. Learn to forgive. Nobody's perfect, including your female boss. Instead of focusing on the one negative attribute that your female boss has and build your whole perception based on it, it would be more beneficial for both of you if you focus on everything she does right. Thank you.